Hey guys, Steven here back with another video, and today I want to talk about a little story that happened last summer. You probably know by the title. Post Malone followed me, and it was really big for me because at the time I've been making YouTube videos for maybe 2 years at that point, but I never really dabbled with photography much. It was really cool to have Post Malone follow me. Basically I just shot one of his performances at this festival. I'll be getting into that later. It was a really big moment for me because I started photography and getting paid clients June of last year, June of 2017, and I got paid like $20, and it was really big for me. And this story kind of represents like a lot of risk taking and a lot of decision making, and like a lot of the advice I give is like work for free when you start out and just go to every event, go to every performance, go to every influencer and say, yo, I'll do this for free. Literally just keep putting yourself out there until you're in a position where you can get paid and you can make demands. That moment when I got followed was like a big thing for me because like now I'm getting paid clients, I'm working with athletes and stuff like that. And yeah, let's just get into it. This is also a video because Post Malone's album's coming out. Hopefully this goes viral, and a lot of the photographers and videographers who are aspiring to cover events like his can watch this and get something from it. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. If you are a photographer or anything and you want to win a Lightroom preset, just comment below. I choose 3 winners every single video. So comment below anything and I'll choose 3 winners. So basically what happened was there's this local rapper named John River. He actually has had a lot of health issues early in this year. So if you want to check out his story, it'll be in the description. He has this thread on Twitter. Thankfully, he's recovering now. But basically, I have him on as a friend on Facebook, and he posted about a performance. I didn't think it was big because he's not that big of a rapper. He is kind of big locally, but to be, in the same festival as like Post Malone, Tyler the Creator, K-Trina, a lot of those guys, it's big. But at the time, I thought it was just a solo concert. I didn't know it was a festival. Once I figured out that it was a festival, I looked through the whole headliners and stuff like that. Tyler the Creator was supposed to be there, but didn't end up going. But it would have been a really big moment for me to capture some stuff for my portfolio and stuff like that. But basically, I found out that the festival was called NXNE. I just recently found out how big that is because there's South by Southwest, which I always heard of. Like I always thought it was like huge and there's like so many things going on. But then I figured out NXNE means it stands for North by Northeast, and then I was like, whoa, I covered a pretty big event. So basically what happened was I went on the website and I was trying to find ways to contact them, like, yo, can I be media, can I get a media pass, stuff like that. Because if you know me and if you're a friend of mine, you know that I email a lot of people, whether this is brands, companies, like every single day I'll email like a couple people, like whether that's for sponsorships, whether to shoot for free, like do free photo shoots, stuff like that. I just want to get as much done as I can, so I email as many people as I can, and I just want to get myself out there. And last summer that was the case too. I'm still doing that. I think I'm gonna continue to do like free shoots sometimes, just to get myself out there. If you want to know how I get clients, I actually made a video on it, and doing free work is probably like the biggest thing for me. When you do free work, you're actually providing value to somebody. They don't have to pay you, and basically that gets you ahead of a lot of people who are charging. So if you email somebody and say, yo, maybe I'll do a photo shoot for $50 instead of $100. That doesn't even matter. Like, it's not convenient for them to be even paying, because that wasn't even in their mind. When they were checking their emails, they weren't looking for a photographer, or else they would have found one. But if you're like, a photographer and you say, oh, I'll do it for free, that adds a lot of value to them. And so put that aside. That's for another video. But basically, that was my mindset. At that time, I wanted to do as much as I could. I wanted to go to every event, every festival. And I wasn't even sure if it was music, if it was sports, if it was whatever. Like, I wanted to do whatever, put myself out there. And I really urge any photographer to do so too. I've talked to a lot of event photographers, videographers, and they recommend the same thing. Go to small shows, build a portfolio, and then once you build up your portfolio, you can be sending your portfolio over to, the management of some artists and stuff like that, and get into, bigger venues and stuff like that. So basically what happened was I saw the headliners and I was like, I contacted the festival basically. And if you don't know, if you are planning on shooting a concert or getting a media pass to any event, you need a media outlet. Basically, media outlet can be like a radio station, a blog, a website, any big social media account. So like Complex does that a lot, like Rap Season, a lot of these, cool, big pop culture blogs and stuff like that. If you have that as an outlet, you're good. However, if you don't have an outlet, it's a lot harder to get into these, because basically these outlets want content to post on their social media, right? They want it to be exclusive to them, and like no other outlet has it. And it's also good for the artists and like the management as well, because they get free photos and stuff like that. So they let in some media. And you may also not know this, but usually what happens is you're only allowed to basically be in the media section, so like the closest to the stage, for only like 3 or 5 songs usually. So the rest of the concert, you're usually going to be at the back, depending on like how the venue is, but usually the first 3 or like 5 songs is like where you can take photos. So if you ever get in a position where you get a media pass, like take as many photos as you can. You're not there forever. I didn't know that. That's why you'll notice a lot of photographers on their like Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, they'll have like 2 different views of a concert. Like they'll have like of the crowd from like very back, because they got kicked out and they have to go to the back now, and they have it really close up. That's why. It's because once you know the 3 songs are done, you're done basically. And so basically I didn't have a media outlet at the time. I literally put not available for like half the sections because I didn't have a media outlet. I didn't have anybody I was working for. I didn't have that. I didn't have the connections. I was like 15 at the time, right? Like what? Like I didn't have that. So I put not available, but luckily they accepted it, right? They're like, oh, here's the media pass, you know, go to the booth at this time to get your credentials, stuff like that. So I was so happy, and I was supposed to bring 2 of my friends, Yovan and Kishan. If you're watching this, like, you missed out big time, right? You could have watched like front. So basically I said my team was these 2 guys, but they couldn't come. So basically I was supposed to like go to Toronto by myself, you know, figure out all this stuff by myself, go to a concert by myself. And I was planning on using the press pass not to take photos, but actually just enjoy the show. When I realized my friends weren't going, I was like, yo, I'm gonna take this opportunity and do it. But I was very hesitant because at the time I haven't really traveled alone. I didn't really take the bus. I didn't know how to take the bus really. I took the Go bus, if you guys know what that is, and it's way more expensive than the subway in the greater Toronto area. I didn't know how to take the subway, so I think took the transit to like the train station, and then I Ubered over to the venue, and the venue was near like the Toronto Islands, I think, or near the water. And so it was like out of everywhere, right? Like I didn't know which bus to take. I didn't know what to take, right? So basically I was really hesitant to go because my friends weren't going, and last minute I decided to go. I'm like, yo, let's do this. And I was there the whole day, and literally the only person like worth taking photos of was Post Malone, and he was late for his performance too. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm just like reminiscent on this right now, right? But yeah, he came late. I'm in the front at this time, and at the time I wasn't really good with using the manual settings. I actually used auto for the longest time. Maybe like 6 months ago I learned how to use manual, and I kind of learned how to use it better. But I think I did use auto, and some photos I'd use manual, but I didn't know how to shoot in low light. Like a lot of the photos that you'll see maybe a little bit blurry, and there's a lot of motion blur because the shutter speed was increased, stuff like that, right? It was really bad for me. And basically when I got home, if you guys remember, closer to like around August of last year, I didn't upload a lot. That's because I didn't have a laptop, and I was using my friends, and I had to borrow everybody's and like, you know, return them, borrow somebody's, return it to make videos, and it was really hard. And so at the time, after the concert and I got back, which was like really hard to get back, I had no Wi-Fi, my phone was out of battery, I don't have data, you know, and I had to call an Uber or something, but instead I had to walk back and find somewhere with Wi-Fi. Eventually I found like a TD Bank, and then, you know, I called the Uber, and I came home at like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. That sort of started the trend of me coming home really late, you know? If you're creative, you're kind of used to that, you know, go to events, coming back exhausted. But basically I had like, I believe like 1,600 photos of the whole festival, and I didn't know the significance of the festival. But basically I got back and I didn't have a laptop to edit on, right? I did have my brother's, but there were like black bars basically going through them, and you couldn't move the laptop anywhere, or else like it would just shut down to black. So basically the monitor was like about to fall off the keyboard. So, you know, obviously it was really hard to edit, but I wanted to get those photos out. And the screen was like, the colors were off and all that sort of stuff. And I over edited like usual, you know, Steven does that. You know, if you see my Instagram photos, I over edit a lot. So basically these photos could have turned out way better. I don't have the raw photos anymore. They were on my hard drive, but I accidentally formatted it. And I don't have any of the video clips that I took. Bro, the light just turned off. Okay, whatever. I don't have any of the video clips, or else I would have included it. It would have been great to see those and reminisce on that. But basically, yeah, so the photos didn't turn out as good as I wanted to. But looking back, they're actually really good. And at that point, I realized, yo, I'm pretty good at using what I have. Like, I think that's with my YouTube channel too. Like, I didn't have the most expensive equipment, but now we good. We're really good. Like, I'm really good at this stuff. And recently I just did a Daniel Caesar concert at Laurier University in Waterloo, Ontario, and the photos turned out amazing. I think I'm a really good concert photographer, and I think someone should hire me, like, legit. So basically what I did was, for the next couple months, I would just post on my Instagram, post on my Twitter. I made it like a thread, and I would say, you know, I just keep retweeting it, and so it had like 200 retweets, 300 retweets, not that much. And then what I proceeded to do was I would reply to Post Malone's tweets and say, yo, retweet this. I'm a 15-year-old photographer and I'm trying to reach the right person. And I would get like 1,000 retweets on each tweet that I replied to. And I was like getting so hyped. I was getting clout, right? I was getting followers every single day, but Post Malone wasn't seeing my photos. That was the main goal. Like, I wanted him to see it. And so just looking at all that, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go. I didn't take a big risk, right? There was no downside to not going, but like, I was really deciding not to go. Like, the weather was bad. My friends didn't go. Like, who goes to a concert by themselves? Like, just think about that. At 15, I went to Toronto by myself. I'm still 16, man. Like, that's not to be cocky or anything. It's just, it's hard to put that together. Like, at that time, I didn't know how to use the transit. I had no friends with me who could have helped me. My phone was literally out of battery. The weather was bad. There was no guarantee that I could get good photos because I didn't really know how to take good photos at the time because I just started out. But you just gotta take the risk, man. Like, I wouldn't be in the position where I am if I didn't take that risk, because I learned so much from that event. I learned so much about getting like retweets on Twitter through that, the process of getting a press pass, and how media outlet plays a bigger role, and having a portfolio is a bigger role, and all that sort of stuff. And that's not to say that I'm huge and I'm a big event photographer. I literally been to like 2 concerts. Like, the Daniel Caesar one's the second one. There's a lot of ways to get into a concert. You can literally sneak into a concert if you have, like, if you talk the right way or like act like fake it till you make it, they'll let you in. Like, honestly, like, just say you lost your press pass sometimes works. You know, literally, I know Justin Escalona made a video with like 50 festivals in 50, you know, 50 days or something like that. Like 50 festivals for free. He got into 50 festivals or 50 concerts for free by holding a camera and faking it till he made it. I also met a lot of photographers there. Kishin's one of them. He actually takes photos, I think for Sports Center or something, for the Raptors. Not directly, but he's at the Raptor games on the sidelines and stuff like that. And Drake posted his photo. Like, Drake posted his photo during the playoffs, and like 4 of them actually, which is sick, right? And I met T.Cam, who I realized was actually way bigger than I thought. Like, I didn't know there was anyone that big. And you know, he's taking photos of The Weeknd, French Montana, Drake, like big artists. And then later on, I kind of like got in contact with a lot of music people, you know, like Joe Moore, who's the director and photographer for 2 Chainz. That's huge. I did a podcast episode with him. This was a domino effect. I learned so many things, and I learned so much from these people, and that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go. So there's more to this. So at the time, you know, I was getting retweets, I was getting all that sort of stuff, but I didn't get Post Malone to see it. You know, my friends were like, oh, yo, you're sick. Steven, you covered Post Malone. That's so sick, right? And so I'd post it maybe every other month. I just post a new Post Malone pic. It's getting really repetitive. Oh, wait. I think I'm gonna yawn or burp. I don't know. So basically, Soar Gaming was having a recruitment challenge, and my friend Dom, who I did photo shoot with as well, told me about it. You know, I'm not a gamer, but they were recruiting photographers. I never got in, just to say that. So basically, Soar Gaming is like a gaming organization, and they have a lot of creative people in it, like gamers, streamers, videographers, graphic designers, stuff like that, right? So I was going in for photography, and basically what I did was I made a really creative post, and I basically changed the colors in the Post Malone photos I had. I made them yellow and purple, basically yellow and purple hues, because that's what the logo is for Soar. It's like purple, yellow, black, you know, white. And then I put like basically a quote on each, or like parts of a quote on each photo. So there's 4 photos on Twitter, and then I got a lot of people to retweet it. I asked my network to retweet it. I asked like a lot of people on my Discord channel to retweet it, and you know, it got maybe like 200, 300. I'm not sure how many retweets it got, but I wasn't gonna do that recruitment challenge either. I was really hesitant, like, and I just realized, you know, I was thinking to myself just recently, it's like, why wouldn't I take the chance? There's no downside to it. It's just your time. And as a young person, you have so much time. There was so much more upside. If Post Malone saw this, if I got into Soar Gaming, you know, why not do it? And time was the only, you know, thing that I would be losing. And at this time, at this moment in time, I have so much time. And it's the summer, like I could afford to stay up and edit and do that sort of stuff. So I decided to do it. And then maybe a couple days after I posted it on Twitter, Post Malone followed me. But before that, my network actually replied to it and said, yo, Steven, Sword Gaming deserves you, or like, you deserve to be on Sword Gaming, something like that. And he liked the tweet. At first, I thought it was a fan account because that happens so much. It wasn't. And ever since then, I've just I've just been riding the wave. I've just been so inspired. You know, you're not always inspired, but it was a really big point in my photography career, and it was just the very start. So I was really fortunate to be able to cover that event, and hopefully I get to cover NXNE or North by Northeast this year as well. I contacted the press email, but they haven't replied. Hopefully there's better and bigger artists this year. Last year it's kind of a disappointment. I know a lot of people were disappointed because it's a different format. It wasn't at Young Dundas Square. It was actually in a separate, like it was split apart. There's like multiple locations, venues, stuff like that. Hopefully it's different this year, and hopefully like Tyler the Creator gets to come this year, because he was actually supposed to come but he didn't end up coming, which is sad. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, bro, Post Malone just tweeted. It's crazy. And at the time, bro, I never even went to a concert, like just for entertainment. And here, let me just say this. I've been to, you know, some big events. I've been to a Raptors game. I got access to that. I was on the sideline, stuff like that. Huge, right? I did stuff for the Memphis Grizzlies and Dylan Brooks. I'm doing stuff for Ken Burch of the Orlando Magic. I'm doing his basketball camp in Montreal. I'm going to New Brunswick next week for that. I went to Ghana for, you know, a charity. And that's all through my manager, but still I connected with my manager because of the person I am. I connected with my manager because I was, you know, willing to take risks to reach out to him. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't reach out to him, stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's it. It's crazy. Sorry for talking so much. This like 30 minutes unedited. I love these videos. I'm loving this right now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If you're a photographer, need any advice, just comment below. Like really. Yeah, thank you. My name's Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.